पता रहते वहीं पे चालू करने के तो कर देंगे ना
3 points is a must. Class anti-flick team is concerned. Players missing. Players returning back to injury. Anticipating a very exciting game between these two. There will be goals. Along those lines at Barcelona, going to just go and try and outscore Atletico. We are underway then. The Spotify camp now. Barcelona keeping from left to right in this first game back home. As we see the lineup, this is Dani Olmo playing alongside Eric Garcia in midfield. He's Fermin Lopez easily putting the ball in, looking for Robert Lewandowski and finding him. It's a beautiful flick on. The flag has stayed down. Here's Lewandowski bringing in Balde. Lewandowski gets it back. In 20 seconds. Going to have the first goal for Barcelona. The attack continues. Pitch looking in impeccable condition. We didn't have one or two question marks as to what kind of state it would be in, but it's looking good so far. That would be incredible, wouldn't it? It's a wonderful attacking move as well. We'd have had to let it unfold before analysing it, seeing if there was an offside, maybe a couple of offside in that attacking place in Barcelona, but it was sharp and decisive. Of course, Athletic is still moving. Looking for Nico Williams. Ran Garcia, Nico Williams was offside. Let's hear what kind of reception gets. Very close to joining Barcelona. That was the right move.
अब मेरे हिसाब से सब सही हो गया.
Go short, turn, spin easy, behind, gets the timing right, and he can afford to really make sure that he's in the side position because his pace will take him away from any of the back four of the Barcelona defence. Mentioned Chesney not feeling clean sheets. Just a second, here is Ferran Torres who's through on goal. Flag stayed down. The Athletic Club defenders looking accusingly at the assistant referee. It's Ferran, possibly offside with the knee. It was time. Yeah, I think it's the correct call, isn't it? To allow play to continue because it was incredibly close. But it does. Fortune favours Barcelona and they do get a corner for it, which possibly might have been an offside attack. Dani Olmo takes it. Bringing Fermin. Whipped in by Fermin. Things are not clear. Looking there. Nervy coming for that ball, claiming eventually. No Marcus Rashford in the Barcelona squad today. He's missed the last couple of days. He does usually take those set pieces. Hunted down there, wasn't he? Geezer and Luis Galarreta, which those two will do in midfield. That is their job, that's their role. They do it really well. Now there.
नहीं ब्रो बहुत ज़्यादा
loose ball is how they keep that. Berenguer out wide to Sunset. Nico Williams making his way into the box. Doesn't find him, and it's with Dani Olmo now. Is Lamine Yamal. His first minutes in the camp now since his debut. Made 8 minutes. He's already played a beautiful pass there. Lamine Yamal again. Here is Lamine.
भाई come on यार मारना था.
With a strong challenge. It falls to Lewandowski here. So they didn't clear their line.
ये करना होता है भाई, ये करना होता है. लेवा भाई लेवा.
Could have cleared. They didn't.
Lewandowski. भाई भाई तो बंदे ने क्या पहला टच था भाई, उसने क्या कटाया उसको और डायरेक्ट शूट भाई.
I've just checked the time. It feels like we've played 20 minutes. 12 minutes. Lewandowski scores. There have been chances at both ends. There have been questionable offside decisions at both ends of the pitch. Not midfield play.
It's been about attacking play from both teams, and in particular Barcelona, of course. Lamine Yamal tries to weave his way through. Maybe I'm thinking there, perhaps he's trying too much to be the first goal scorer. Back in the new stadium, there were better options open. Athletic Club made the mistake of giving the ball away cheaply to Robert Lewandowski. And again, Unai Simon, when Lewandowski takes on this attempt, I must be honest, I didn't expect it to find its way into the back of the net. It's a straightforward save for a goalkeeper of Unai Simon's credentials. Lewandowski does what you expect, hits the target, makes the keeper work. The keeper fouled, Lewandowski succeeds, and Barcelona 1-0 up.
Coming off the back of that hat-trick just before the international break, Robert Lewandowski in the 4-2 win at Celta Vigo. He's now just 11 goals away from entering the top 10 of Barcelona's all-time leading scorers. It's his 109th goal as a Barcelona player.
भागना Ferran Torres.
Yes, maybe one of the question marks about goalkeeping from Simon.
Going into this game today, he scored 7 in 4 starts. I worked it out, 449 minutes. He was scoring a goal every 64 minutes. Now, people do complain that maybe he's past his best and it's still, perhaps he shouldn't be the first choice centre forward for Barcelona. Ferran Torres started the season well. You just can't argue with those statistics. That average of goal every 64 minutes has come down drastically because he scored one in 4 minutes.
Speaking about him on the all-time scoring lists, he is a Barcelona.
Can we say legend?
After 3 years and 3 months.
Yeah. A couple of titles. Yep, he does win titles wherever he goes, and there have been 1 or 2 criticisms over the time he's been at Barcelona because of the amount of money that he earns. But yeah, his goals, incredible goals for him, mate.
Depending on how the season goes, he could end the season as the 5th highest goal scorer in Barcelona's history.
Good try.
109.
3 seasons.
अरे Valverde इनका अच्छा एथलेटिक
Samuel Eto'o currently the 5th highest goal scorer, 130 goals. Put him in his sights.
He's a legend. There's been a few of those at Barcelona, even Valverde. Success as manager of Barcelona. It's,
ऑफसाइड ट्रैप किया था चेस बंदे को
even talking about the return back to the stadium this week in the media. Of course, people are going to ask him the questions because he was successful here for a while.
2 league titles as a manager. The Copa del Rey as well, and was sacked with Barcelona top of La Liga. Just lost in the Spanish Super Cup to Atletico Madrid. Champions League defeats.
मेसी का भाई
Roma and Liverpool.
भाई अभी हाथ खत्म होगा ना
Right.
तब इसमें वो है गुड बॉल
For Dani Olmo and finding him in support. Still Dani Olmo.
स्क्रीन पे अपने स्कोर बनाएगा हटो जल्दी यार
And he's found Lamine Yamal. Still Lamine.
अपनी स्क्रीन पे टाइमर और वो बनाएगा
Pretty tight by these standards. Here's Alex Berenguer. He was dispossessed for the goal and he's been dispossessed
यार
there.
बॉस
Here's Lewandowski.
यार ऐसे आ गया तो यार वो अटैक बन रखा है तब
They chipping it in. He was arriving. Sunset looking to find Nico Williams, who is getting a hostile reception from the crowd. Here's Unai Gomez.
ये मारेगा मार दिया इसने
Still Unai.
नहीं खाएंगे कैंपनों पे
Why the hostile reception? Nothing actually happened, did it? Nothing, he had the opportunity to join
यार
us.
नया गेम लग तो
And then he chose to sign a very long contract at Athletic Club.
पूरा देखा नहीं
Can't really label it as a player turning down
फिर से रिमोट देना भी मेरे को
because the deal never came close to happening. And in the meantime, Rafinha become twice the player he was in his first couple of years at Barcelona.
Lamine. Speaking of Rafinha, we are expecting to see him at some point today. Hansi Flick said could be good for 10, 15, 20 minutes.
थोड़ी ब्राइटनेस तो वापस बढ़ाओ यार
He's had a Kithad. line doing its job there for Barcelona. A lot's been said of the Barcelona high line, of course. Athletic play the third highest line in La Liga. It's a pretty high defensive line, as you can see there. They often leave space behind
इसमें
them.
भी एलईडी के जैसे बना हुआ हो रहा है बेंच जबकि प्रोजेक्टर है एकदम क्लियर होना चाहिए
Just about finding Rabiot, who kept that in play. Dani Olmo. To Gerard Martin. He's a centre back today, usually deployed as a left back.
10 पे भाई मेसी मेसी कैंप नो भाई दिख रहा हटाओ ना यार बॉल इस पे जल्दी से नाइस
Throws it in towards Berenguer and brings it down. Set with the ball in. Gathered by Joan Garcia. Pedri not on pitch. And Frankie de Jong both missing today. Pedri injured. Frankie de Jong is suspended. The 30th of March 2023 was the last of the Barcelona Champions League game without either of those two midfielders. See how they can move the ball without their two midfield engines.
It does mean a different setup today, doesn't it? Because that is very much a different where two players on the same wavelength, similar levels in terms of quality and skill, but different players. But today, obviously, Eric Garcia was the one effective holding midfield player.
यार Monday is fucking retarded भाई
For Williams, Nico gets the shot away, but he curled it into the far post as he would have liked, coming off the back of scoring a brilliant individual goal against Real Oviedo before the international break.
He's key, isn't he? Without an obvious centre forward, now you've got
यार ये
on the
जैसे
opposite
उधर
flank.
देखना तो ये सामने आ रही है
Responsibility is going to lie with him. Maybe Ian Sunset needs to do more as well.
We can tell you just how key Nico Williams is with him this season. Athletic Club have 6 wins, 2 defeats and a draw without him. No wins, 6 defeats and 1 competitions for Williams. Vital. Losing out in midfield as they're trying to play the ball out from the back. This high press from Athletic is working to recover the ball in this position, but we're not really able to do too much with it once they get it. De Alarreta to Nico Williams. Chiche on the overlap. Zulibek Chiche.
First time you've seen you, but Chichi had the opportunity to break forward and he's always been very good. It has been when he's a younger player. He hasn't got the pace to overlap. That's a problem in itself.
He's with the corner and near post. Gomez was attacking. He's defending. Stephen short. By Berenguer to the back post. Decent ball in. Still there to connect. Now, look at it. Still plenty of players forward for Athletic Club. Efficient pass to Sunset. Side flag was against Laporte.
Definitely important to defend that from Barcelona. Just allowed Athletic Club to play it unopposed. No one went out to defend the situation. It eventually does come into the penalty box, but there was an offside call. Laporte. Happy with the decision.
सऊदी था नहीं
नहीं एथलेटिको नहीं था क्या है लैंगले नहीं था
लैंगले तो एटलेटिको में है ना।
अभी लपोर्ट है, वो लपोर्ट है क्या?
बढ़िया चीज होता है एटलेटिको से।
समझ नहीं आ रहा।
Kubasi.
फ्रांस की टट्टियां वो बता रहा हूँ मैं। फ्रांस का ही है ना वो?
It's up by Fermin. Let's see
बहुत
what he's trying to do with the pass.
बहुत ज्यादा कर दिया। हाँ फरहान की जगह वो दोनों बच दिया। तो गोलकीपर नहीं जाता इतना है। इसकी फट रही होती है भाई। बहुत ज्यादा रफी।
Sharpish there, was he? And did spin it momentarily there. That was an opportunity for Barcelona, but a pass and that would have been in. Athletic Club have pulled their way back into the game, clawed their way back into the game, haven't they? That's 4 minutes. They've scored. There's been so much action before that. But it's slowed down a touch now from Barcelona. Let's see, having a little bit more possession, being more threat going forward, a bit more solid defensively.
It's over. I'll find Balde losing space.
Oh!
By Alarreta. Berenguer. He gets there. Doesn't keep it in.
So incredibly unlucky, isn't it, for Berenguer, and incredibly lucky for Barcelona. That's what it said from there. The assistant referee was in the best position.
Yes.
Maybe too close.
Illustrious players looking on. Frankie de Jong sent off last week against Celta Vigo, or the previous day. We saw Gabby there as well. We saw him entering the stadium, hobbling, limping.
Yeah. I don't know whether he's had recent surgery, but it did look like.
आने वालों भी पता नहीं कुछ कर ही नहीं
Quite
रहा
a very bad
और आती है
pitch.
अटैकिंग रेट बनता नहीं ये बहुत बड़ा वो है
यार लमीन मेरे को तो ऐसा लगा कि शेक
Barcelona in these opening 16 minutes.
ऐसे वो नहीं कर पा रहा जो करना था पिछले साल।
वो एक तो बहुत कैजुअली
Looking
बना
like they've got the lines better now. Athletic Club, the back four,
तो बनानी
midfield four, Sanchez dropping in deep as well at times.
देखो बस इसको ऐसे है कि बॉल डालो
Space here though for Robert Lewandowski out to Lamine Yamal. Lamine back to Robert Lewandowski in space. Lewandowski
अरे लेवा मार यार
was surprisingly poor from
पर
Robert
कम से कम
Lewandowski.
बुड्ढा सही जगह पर गेम तो बना रहा है भाई
I think his first
लेवा
was
भाई
to
बाकी लॉन्डे भी यूज है
प्रॉपर नंबर नहीं है भाई लेवा जो
improvise.
केन के टाइप का है कि भाई
ये मुद्दा हो गया भाई वही तो भाई अपनी टीम की क्या हालत है भाई अपनी पिछले साल ऐसे लेवा की जाती है अपन और रन इस साल अपन ऐसे हो गए वापस की भाई एटलीस्ट लेवा ही खेल
फरहान टॉरेस नहीं कर पा रहे यार इतना कोई
वही लेवो की जगह अल्वारेज चाहिए।
लॉर्ड
लॉर्ड वलवर्डे
लॉर्ड
वही अल्वारेज चाहिए लेवो की जगह में उधर
भाई लॉर्ड वलवर्डे है अपन हरा देगा अपन को
अल्वारेज चाहिए अपने को
Continued his
मतलब
run.
अपन का कैंप नो रिटर्न में पहला मैनेजर जो बादशाह है वो लॉर्ड वलवर्डे जिसके कारण कैंप नो रिटर्न में इतना टाइम लग गया
High
भाई
line.
टीम
Yeah,
का
they've
बात
had
जिसने
opportunities. The passing hasn't been quality hasn't been sufficient enough to really cause Barcelona problems. But we have to give Barcelona credit. There is a little bit more pressure being applied on the midfield players of Athletic Club than there has been for the majority of this season. One of the obvious flaws that
लगता है ऐसे
was in their
कुंडे है ना
performances.
कुंडे जब ग्राउंड
So
पर भी
far.
जैसे खेल रहे हैं ना वो इसको कोई पास करता है ना तो
Athletic
इसको
Club
डर लगता है
midfield players,
बहुत ज्यादा कि
fullbacks haven't had the
अब कोई
opportunity
पास
to get
को
their
मत
head up.
करना अवॉइड करना
Find that
चाहिए
pass.
बहुत ही गंदे पासिंग है
Quality.
एटलीस्ट फ्लिक को भाई इसको देख के टाइट स्पेसेस में पास सीधा कहाँ डालना है डिफेंड कैसे करना है वो
Kubasi. With 10 members of the Barcelona first team squad. Played in the Camp Nou before.
ले जाओ भाई
ये बढ़िया चढ़ो ऊपर चढ़ो वहां तक ले जाओ इनको ऐसे।
To Balde. Fermin sets off on a run, brilliantly found by Ferran Torres. Can Fermin finish? And the follow-up is just wide. Boy was found Fermin. Once he gets in those kind of positions, he's usually clinical.
Yeah, it is. It's a marvellous pass from Ferran Torres. It's a well-timed run from deep. His first touch takes him away from goal, makes it the angle really difficult. It's too heavy to touch. But he still tries his utmost to try and get it back across the goalkeeper, and I see him towards the far post. Comfortable save at the end for him. Spread himself well. That should have been the second goal for Barcelona.
Danny Villian just calming things down.
Premature whistles there before the ball even reached Nico Williams. And impressed if they managed to
यही सब तो
keep it
यार
up for the 90 minutes.
नहीं मारना
20 minutes.
मतलब भी ज्यादा
The ball's not anywhere near Nico Williams. Considerable whistles for him. He dispossessed, but the ball falls back to Barcelona. Here is Lamine Yamal. Let's see who he's trying to find. Ferran doesn't get on the end of that ball. Spotted the run.
That switch was constantly switch of play from Barcelona from right to left. He's down there, Ferran Torres, finding space.
अरे भाई छी यार
Really good opening for Barcelona. They haven't capitalized.
But yeah.
Yeah, 3 or 4. Really good openings in the first just over 20 minutes. Have managed to score the 1 goal. They're going to need more. See, Simon's response immediately was to thump the ground in frustration.
You see it from that angle there.
Spain's international goalkeeper should be building up army. I was surprised when it went, to be honest.
अरे यार कितना गंदा पास
Spain's international goalkeeper is absolutely unquestionably number one for Luis de la Fuente. There are some really good
Oh,
Spanish
my
goalkeepers. Raya at Arsenal, Juan Garcia as well. So his place in the Spain team seems assured. Midway through this first half, this first game back at the Spotify Camp now. So the lead. Robert Lewandowski's 8th league goal of the season. Both these Salons in Champions League action coming up this week. So, yeah, tricky game against Chelsea.
Yep.
Athletic Group travelling to Prague to take on Slavia Prague in a game which they absolutely must win if they want to continue in the Champions League past the group stage. Here is Fermin Lopez. He's around the goalkeeper and finishing. The flag is up.
फरहान मिश्रा यार
Premature celebratory music. Didn't get for the first goal.
जाता यार फरहान मेरे भाई
Someone had one job to do. The assistant referee has one job to do. And he's
ये तो था ही पहले से लेवा फरहान रन पे भाई
smart finish from Ferran Torres.
हक तो इसमें कब भी दिया था
Went through though. You talked about Athletic Club playing the high line. They play it for a different reason. Now, Verdi likes to keep his team compact. He doesn't want big spaces. He doesn't want the attacking department to be too far away from the defensive players.
तीन मेन मिडफील्डर
Sometimes
तीनों
it does catch
मेरे
people offside.
काफी पैटर्न
Here is Berenguer. First time ball
काफी
in.
तो पता नहीं
And he's attacking it though there.
He hasn't got tackle yet, has he, John Garcia? His form not only for Barcelona but for Spain in particular last season elevated even to
ये तो ancient आदमी है
being consistently talked about getting a Spain cap. Now he's back from injury. It's only a matter of time for the defence to lose him an opportunity. There's enough time for him to oust.
Like
Arsenal remains to be seen.
Nice, nice pass.
कुंडे हमेशा
See him
तगड़े पास देता
protesting
है
his innocence. Pretty clear foul.
बैटमैन बना हुआ है.
Yeah, I think the protesting of his innocence, unless there's no contact, but as a lunge. Yeah, I think the protesting of innocence was to avoid a yellow card.
Yeah,
He did.
he did.
Yeah.
Only player to have played in every game in the league so far this season for Barcelona, Eric Garcia. Many people would have guessed that at the start of the season. Another effort to take this free kick. It's floated in towards Laporte, headed away by Koundé. Lamine finds Lamine.
Okay.
Dance his way through.
थोड़ा
He's
सा
going
कुछ
to keep
और
having none of it.
It didn't appear a way out there, but he does do it on a regular basis. See the breakthrough. Barcelona, which led to the offside call. Quite a clear one, that wasn't it?
Well, it is the relatively, dare I say, tame atmosphere inside the stadium. It's not as loud as it is
आएगा भाई आएगा आज.
we're used to at the camp now. There's only 45,000 here. There isn't the grada de animación as well, the noisiest
यार
fans
अपना एक आता है दूसरा चले जाता
behind the goals.
है. ऊपर ले, ऊपर ले, ऊपर ही, ऊपर ही, ऊपर ही.
Beautiful foul there. It keeps going. He felt that he was fouled.
यार एटलीस्ट कार्ड भी नहीं दे रहा वो फरहान को पूरा पकड़ लिया था ब्रदर मतलब इस पे कैसे नहीं दे रहा वो
Sufficient contact along the way for Valverde to have expected the free kick. Tough job for Gordasal because he's not sure if he's marking Ferran Torres or Valverde. They're both roommates down that left flank. It does require a little bit of help. Williams has swapped sides with Bellingham.
Big risk taken there. Having Vivian striding forward, trying to turn it into an opportunity.
Being changed confused में.
Yeah, calling for it. It's near side. It eventually comes to him.
कुंडे कुंडे पे नहीं
Chiche digging out across and finding Nico Williams, who brings it down, and
तो निको का आज इंजर्ड लग रहा है.
it's over. And then to Unai Simon.
Interesting to know why Valverde has made that switch. What he's seen.
He is.
That thing for 1 minute is the defensive problems that Athletic Club are having down that lane because that's not you're not going to ask Nico Williams to track back against Balde. It might be a little bit of a gamble. But Balde is constantly pushing forward with no threat from Berenguer, so maybe Valverde thinks if I put Nico on their side, it might dampen the enthusiasm of Balde in terms of vacating the left back spot and playing as a left winger. Shall see.
In by Berenguer towards Laporte. Be another corner. In by Berenguer. Away by Gerard Martin. Lamine Yamal's helping out defensively. Almost to Nico Williams, you can tell.
not phased by it, is he? He's, as usual, smile on his face, loves his football.
Simon towards sunset. Just gifting possession back to Barcelona.
Yeah, I wonder if I looked too much into the swap over of Berenguer and Nico Williams. They've come back to the flanks that they started on.
And in the initial lineups we were given, the Liga had Balde at left wing. Has trained with Balde that position recent weeks. Give him a different option. If you flick,
It wouldn't be much of a change for him, though, would it, Balde? He plays there a lot of time, as a lot of modern fullbacks do. Modern fullbacks were wingers.
मुझे आउट कमेंट करना
Converted to fullbacks. His average position in this game would be as a left winger.
Day, who is a fullback, was converted from centre back.
Reluctant. I get the impression he still sees himself as filling up a hole in the Barcelona defence, but counts himself as a centre back. It's been a long time since we've seen him play there for anyone.
See down by Lamine Yamal, still Lamine. Just how to keep that space here for Ferran Torres, who makes the shot on. Balde in a good position. Had time to set himself for a better shot than that.
Yeah, I expected better there from Ferran Torres.
या जैसे
Skills from Lamine Yamal, contested area on just outside the edge of the penalty box.
देखने का ट्राई कर रहा है जैसे पूरा में अलग-अलग देख अपन को अपना जो
themselves
इंटरनेट
into the
बातचीत
challenges
है ना
left,
वो
right, and
बात
centre.
अलग करनी है और उसको इधर कैप्चर करके अपन को
Kindly
जीएस पे
Ferran
देना
Torres
है
was
जीएस में
able
से
to take advantage
टोटल
of
अपने भी कन्वर्सेशन सही चलेगी
his
बस
first
जिले
touch.
में
It was all set up, an attempt on target. Leaned it over the crossbar. Credit to Athletic Club, and they Barcelona haven't scored in 4 minutes yet. One team that's down it, just come down.
See, he's touching his head. He's going to get some medical assistance here.
Yeah, concerned.
Uninjured हो गया.
Usually, Araujo is
तो 15
told to warm up, I think. But Balde is down.
Instead of Nino Araujo going to centre back, Gerard Martin. And to left back position.
Araujo was on international duty with Uruguay. Wes Christensen was also on international duty with Denmark. The reason given by Hansi Flick for his decision to start Gerard Martin at centre back instead of the two more recognised players on the bench, as we see here. See a huge amount in it.
No real contact, obvious contact there on Balde. People are playing on the head earlier in the game, maybe a delayed reaction. And,
against Gomez, who is a physical competitor.
nothing else was there though, was there? Nickname's Rambo. Because he looks like
Young Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
It's been mentioned. Here is Nico Williams. Balde is back on the pitch. A little bit looks like maybe for Araujo to replace him. We've heard how much that hurt Chiche, the challenge from Fermin, and it'll be a free kick to Athletic Club. Got the ball and got a lot of the player as well.
Yep, Chichi. Getting the foul, getting his team the set piece in a decent position where they can cause a problem. Berenguer is capable of really good delivery. Laporte and Vivian, Sunset, be the obvious targets.
Like Berenguer, pushed away by Joan Garcia, only as far as the Galarreta. Berenguer floated in. Keep the move alive.
It was a dangerous cross, but it didn't have the quality that he would be looking for. Goalkeeper dealt with it. I wouldn't say come through because they had to come through the bodies, but it was clearly too close to the goalkeeper. And this was close to the goalkeeper. Lewandowski, probability of scoring from that angle, unless it's a stunning strike, which it wasn't. It's a routine attempt on goal from Lewandowski. He hits the target. Should have been saved by the goalkeeper.
That's it to Williams, and what a chance that is for Unai Gomez. Athletic Club should be level. Terrific chance for the Basques, and it's spurned by Unai Gomez. Nico Williams kept his calm to send up his teammate. Chance goes begging. And it was Athletic pressing high up and covering possession high up the pitch. Maybe to make it count. He's yet to score this season, Unai Gomez. Really good chance that was. It's a good day. Nicely done by Freddy Lopez. Play on, says the referee.
बढ़िया skills
Nicely done by Kunde, Lavin Yamal and Fermin Lopez.
Here's Balde.